Hello, I'm Rick Steiner, and welcome to Luxe Life Discovered. My guest today is Chris Van Orden from Utah, who is the owner and producer for Fitcon. So, Chris, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Rick. I'm happy to be here, and yeah, just excited for Fitcon this year.
I tell you what, I was talking with you yesterday and covered this before in our text, but started helping Dallin years ago with Fitcon, and just very impressed with what this brings to the area. And then you covered something important yesterday too about it being kind of unique to Utah and the surrounding area because of the community part of it. Kind of touch on that again because I really had not thought of it from that perspective, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So what we've noticed in Fitcon over the years is they've brought in really big brand names that you think would do well, but Utah seems to love the community-based brands here, and for some reason, Utah is like a mecca for startups, and especially in the fitness industry. The more I kind of explore it, the more and more companies I'm seeing that are just from Utah started in Utah, and the community they love their Utah companies.
Right. And that does make sense because after being there several times, it just really, I never thought of it from that perspective until you mentioned that yesterday. And it does, like Bucked Up Supplements for example. I mean, they're local and they do great and they have a tremendous following. And we talked about a couple of other supplement companies in different parts of the country. And I guess it's unique to the areas that they were in because they really, those particular companies have great followings. And that's kind of what I see with Fitcon because Fitcon, I had mentioned yesterday, is like a mini Arnold, but it is as far as like the energy, the atmosphere, the vendors, the attendees, but it's very unique to the area.
Yeah, and as you said, Bucked Up, people are so loyal. Like people are loyal to these companies, and Bucked Up's just one of many. And a few of the other ones that exploded are like Clean Simple Eats and
Right.
Just Ingredients. Some other companies that have exploded out of Utah, maybe not quite as healthy, but the cookie company
They're really good. Yeah.
Crumble and Swig, the soda, like both of those, started in Utah. So yeah, they get that loyal fan base, and then they just explode. I don't know what it is, but it keeps happening.
Yeah. I didn't realize Crumble was based out of Utah. That's interesting. They sure they sure did something right with that. Will they be at the FitCon by any chance?
I don't think they're going to be there.
Dang, all right.
I think one cookie.
That little what do you call it? The guilty indulgence on the way out, maybe. So,
Yeah, I
but so
think one cookie has about 1,000 calories in there, great sugar. So
that's when you kind of just forget that part. They're healthy ingredients. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. So I mentioned Dallin who started FitCon and then sold it a couple years ago, bought it back, and he was on right after he bought it back. And then a couple months later, I found out he had sold it. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then after talking with you and realizing who has it, you've got a lot of the same vision that Dallin had and understand that what he brought to it, but yet you're adding your own personal touches to it. So kind of what were some of the challenges when you took over that you may not have expected or you did expect?
um, just the being in the event world. This is my first time being in an event world, and it's like you have one shot per year.
Right.
Like lots of other things, like you make a mistake, you're like, oh, okay, I'll do better tomorrow. But it's like
Yeah.
we don't want to wait 365 days to do better, and which we will. Like we're never perfect, and we'll evaluate each event and try to get better. But yeah, so I wasn't. I love fitness and I love business, and I didn't really when I bought it, I wasn't even really thinking like event world. I was like, oh, I love fitness and I love business. This is cool. And then yeah, got thrown in the deep end a little bit of like
Well, sometimes that's where you learn the best because in the deep end, you have to swim and survive or you sink. And, like I was telling you yesterday, my first event that I ever did was actually in the same venue where you're hosting Fitcon. And it was for 2,000 members of the alpaca organization and 2,200 alpacas. And it was a 2-week event. And I remember that Saturday before it was over on Sunday, I was laying in bed that night thinking, man, it's either going really well this week or else if it didn't, I don't have a clue. It could hit the fan tomorrow. And luckily it went well, and that's how I got started in the event business. But sometimes you need that deep end experience to kind of get everything going, and you have to make it work. And especially for you investing your money into Fitcon, that's even more incentive.
Yep. And last year the purpose was like, okay, let's just do the bread and butter. Let's do the basics. But like the basics are good, but just make sure those are honed in.
Right.
And then we're walking through the expo center kind of day 2 with Dallin. He said, okay, now you can kind of see like you'll still do this, but now you can up it. You got to think now as an entertainer, like, okay, how can we make this better? So that's what we've been working on this year on just placement and just all, the little details that you got to think about. And so it's been fun.
So once you not being in the event part of it, because I'm an event planner, that's my main thing in life right now. But how were you like a deer in the headlight when you bought it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I have to do? You know what I'm saying? Because you took on a huge operation.
Yeah. I feel comfortable in operations from my past work experience. So a lot of moving parts and a lot of things hitting you at different directions. So that part I was comfortable with, which helped me immensely. Right. But then just it's in its own little world of how those come at you. And actually in this world, there's, it's a lot of sales and a lot of marketing. Yeah. And so, that sales approach and the marketing approach was very different compared to what I was used to.
Well, and a lot of it too is you. I mean, you're the face of Fitcon, you are Fitcon. So you've got to have that good rapport with everybody you deal with, because that's going to sell it sometimes more than the whole Fitcon concept itself will. So that adds a little more pressure to you.
Yeah, yep.
But I know you can handle that well. So for anybody out there that may not know what Fitcon is, give them a good brief description, and then I'll ask you something else. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So Fitcon, it's definitely, it's an expo, but way more than just your average expo. So we're going to have our hundreds of fitness and wellness vendors there promoting their products, sampling their products, which is a huge portion of it. And people love that, to come get samples and great show discounts on their products. But maybe you're tired of walking around the expo. We have so many live competitions. Our motto is find your fit. And so we're trying to, see how many different things that we can include people that love fitness in some way, shape, or form. So some of the main events we have are CrossFit Games. There's an international powerlifting competition. We have strongman, armored combat. That's a kind of an entertainment value, watching people hit each other, people with swords and sledgehammers. You don't see that every day, so it actually draws a big crowd. Frontline throwdown's cool. We got the firefighters and police and military going through fitness challenges, and arm wrestling. We're doing a 5K before the doors open up on Saturday. So really just as many things as we can. Like, obviously we can't include everything fitness. Just we're in an expo center, so we're limited, but it's like, okay, what kind of event can we run if we say, okay, we're going to be in this area, and what can we do with that? So it's fun to go back and forth between the vendors, and then like, oh, I'm going to go watch a strongman competition real quick, and then say, oh, I'll swing over to the CrossFit Games, and then I'm going to come back and get some more free samples. So it's fun.
And there's plenty of room. I mean, you can spend the entire day there easily, because you want to visit with every vendor that is there, obviously, and see what all they have to offer, but to learn more about new products, not just gadgets, but there's so many new things with the fitness that is coming into play. The CrossFit, that's one of their major events of the year, isn't it? At
Yeah.
Fitcon?
Yeah, so that, we actually have a company called, well, a party called the Summit Games, and they run a big event of their own event in the fall, but they also do their spring showcase now at Fitcon.
Okay, yeah, and that's always brings a good crowd too, for sure. And yeah, I'm always amazed at all of that. And then we talked yesterday about how I always say it wrong, Hyrox or
Oh yeah, High Rocks.
yeah. When I say Hyrox, I feel like I'm leaving the syllable out somewhere. You know, so yeah. But to explain that a little bit and what they're going to do there.
So High Rocks is it's a huge event on its own, generally, and it's kind of taken the world by storm. Like that, they have massive events all over, right? You know that they're going from city to city,
Right.
Which is cool. You need the entire expo center to run one, and they are coming to Salt Lake in September. But what I've noticed on a lot of the CrossFit gyms and a lot of the other smaller gyms is all of a sudden I'm seeing like High Rocks training, come do our High Rocks event. So we're doing a High Rocks activation, officially partnered with like the real High Rocks. They're bringing in their equipment. So it's just a mini or a smaller version. It's basically more, the bar for entry is lower. Like CrossFit, yes, they have different categories, but as you go up, you're starting to throw weight around, with the High Rocks, it's more just body weight. It's way more people can do it on your average person. Yes, there are some insanely fit people that can do it because it's going to push your cardio limits. Like, yeah, I would probably be throwing up on the side within the first 5 minutes.
I wouldn't even make it to that point. I'd be out. Yeah. So no.
So
But
that's
that,
definitely a big hype event, and yeah, we're happy to, put that into FitCon this year.
well, and if no one's been to this particular venue, it is a huge venue. I mean, there's a lot of space in it, and you are taking up all the space completely. That's always amazing. That's how big this event is. You'll have it com completely usable one end to the other, right?
We set up. So Dallin always talk like we want FitCon to be a vibe and to create the environment of excitement and that it is busy because it is always very busy.
Yeah.
He talked to me about one time and you may have witnessed this, when he went to a different venue, it was much bigger.
Yeah.
And they even had more people. But he said it almost didn't feel as busy because
So
they had so much space. So we just try to utilize that. I think we're using about 90% or so. I said we don't want to just space things out. It doesn't give us the feel that we want. So each year, we adjust accordingly.
right. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that there's so much to offer in what you're doing in a 2 day period that it's kind of, you have to see it to believe it, because you just can't imagine all of that in one building, one place, and everything going on. So there's so much, like you said, so much to see and so much to enjoy. So what has been one of your biggest rewards so far with this? I mean, I know you're just in coming up on your second event as the owner of Fitcon, and got good leadership from Dallin and input from him. But what's been a good reward that maybe you didn't expect from taking over Fitcon?
Yeah, so I love fitness. I love working out. And now the relationships that I've been able to build with so many different people that are in the industry, and it's just fun because like, okay, you have guys that are really into strongman, but they don't care about CrossFit, or the CrossFit, but just bring everybody together for one mega event and just building those relationships, because we all have our own little niche of like what fitness we like, and so that's just been fun, is the relationships
Yeah.
and doing it all together in our community.
Right. And that's a good point too, because at Fitcon, you'll see a whole diverse group of people there. I mean, from one extreme to the other, and everybody's happy because, like you said, they have their little not niches, but their little groups that they relate to, and it makes it, everybody feels comfortable and
Yeah.
nobody's like challenged or like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I don't want to be a part of it. It's like everybody kind of embraces where everybody is, and that makes it more special.
Yeah. I didn't realize this was going to happen, but people would reach out, whether it's just a message or yeah, something on like social media, a comment like, oh, that looks fun, but like, I'm not fit. Like I don't have a six pack, or I'm like, well, guess what? Like 99% of the people here don't have a six pack either. There's probably, yes, there are some guys and girls that are completely shredded.
Right.
But that's what I love about it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to be super fit to come. Like, go talk to those sumo wrestlers. Do you consider them fit? In their own way, they are.
Right. Right.
But
And
like a
that's a fun
stereotypical,
sport to watch because if you've never seen an actual match or whatever you call them bout, it's pretty intense. I mean, it's like I wouldn't get in there with them, you
oh,
know.
no. So that's, yeah, it's just like, it's all inclusive. Everybody, like, okay, if you hate fitness and you hate supplements and you hate athletic world and competition, yeah, probably not for you. But if you like athletes and competitions and supplements and apparel and fitness world, like, there's something for you.
Right. If you're into fitness and you come to Fitcon and you don't find something that can challenge you or that you're a part of, then I'd just be shocked.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong, I guess.
Yeah, that was a nice way I could say it. You're not into fitness. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that because that's the diversity of what's offered. That's what always impressed me initially in the beginning. And I like the quality of your vendors there. And you bring up the local part of it. There's so many things that have just clicked since you told me that, and it is good. I like that community part because it's not just the valley there right around Salt Lake. I mean, it goes like even farther west a little bit. You've got your western states that come in that can all relate to that, and but the majority is local, and you've got the major fitness and supplement companies there who are doing well, and yeah, it's just really impressive.
Yeah, last year we had people come over from 26 different states.
Attendees, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. How many would you say attended last year? Do you know that?
We were around 10,000 for the weekend,
Okay. All right.
and we hope to, as there was a couple of rough years of transition, but I feel like we're on the up and up again, and I think that number is going to continue to grow. Everything's on. I've talked to, I think, to you about this and a few other people. Like, there's so much interaction just online these days.
Right.
Uh, but I think ever since COVID, and now I think people are craving a little bit more human interaction. Like, oh, let's go do something.
Right.
Go to this event, and then it's like, oh, we get to sample these products. We get to touch that material of that jacket we like. So
Exactly.
I think people are craving that, and it's going to just keep on growing.
Well, and then, like you said, having main local companies there, it's going to help them realize, hey, we can get this. We don't have to order it, or you can still order it, but you don't have to like get it from out of state or another part of the country. It's just right there, easily accessible.
Yep. And one of the when even so, I started going to Fitcon back in 2015. And at first, I said, when I was helping Dallin get it going, I didn't really know exactly what was going on. I was helping him, but I was like, yeah, I'll help you and I'll be there. And then, yeah, mine was just completely blown.
Yeah.
And then it just grew bigger and bigger. But as an attendee, one of the things that I loved is, yeah, going to talk to all those vendors. Because yes, we hear about the big vendors. We hear about Bucked Up, but there's so many out there that are small, great companies, and they have phenomenal products. They just maybe not have a massive marketing budget.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that was one of my favorite. I found so many good things just talking to all the vendors.
Oh yeah, and like I told you yesterday, in my part of the event business that it's fun to deal with established companies, established, in whatever area it may be. But I'm always excited to find that young entrepreneur or designer or whatever he or she may be, who's very talented, sometimes more talented than some of the established, but they're just looking for that opportunity to prove themselves. And you can see this at Fitcon because all these major companies were smaller companies at one time. That's what everybody forgets. You know, they all were looking for their chance to make their mark, and they did. So,
And it's been fun to watch companies grow. Like maybe one year, they you see them for a year or two, and they're a little 10 by 10 booth, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, now they have a 10 by 20 booth,
yeah,
and all of a sudden they got a 20 by 20, like and you just watch them like grow because yeah, they're getting after it, and they have a great product, they have great people on their team, and it's fun to watch them grow.
yeah. So, what did your wife say when you presented this idea to her? That's that's where the truth always comes out.
Yeah,
Because most of the time they're like, "Are you crazy?" So did you
yeah.
get that, or
She's been to FitCon before, so she knew like what it was and the size of it and what kind of event it was. Yeah, and it was basically like, have you lost your mind?
I can see that? Yeah. So,
I don't think she thought I was like, yeah, I don't think she thought I was serious at first.
yeah.
I was
Well,
like, oh no, like, and obviously, we worked with it together, so she's fully on board, and she helps me a ton, and she
and
helps.
that helps, especially when you're doing something like this on this scale. It's good to have that support. So
Yeah, she has.
she's not still like threatening you, like, I can't believe you did this. No, it's so
Not yet. Well, it was like, well, if we have to sell our house next year, we know things went bad.
yeah, that was not a good decision after all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, well, your wife sounds like mine. I've come up with some crazy ideas before. Thing is, they've all worked, but I know there are times she's thought in the back of her mind, why did I marry him? Why didn't I get somebody that like had established plans and went by the rule book and followed it to the law? But our life has been, I love risk, I love opportunities, I love chasing that dream. So yeah,
Yeah, she sometimes would tell me, she's like, you're just a little too ambitious.
yeah. Yeah, my sons are older now. They're adults. They're like in their, I guess one is 37. They don't just turned 40. And my daughter's 35. And they're always like, Dad, can you not just go somewhere and just like be there and not talk to people? I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, we know that. So yeah, I'm the same way. So give the dates for FitCon coming up because I mean it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's basically in 2 weeks. It's May 29th and 30th. So yeah, Friday we run from 1 to 8. It's kind of fun to carry it into the evening. I don't know. There's something about carrying into the evening sometimes on some hype events.
Yeah.
And Saturday is just always an event day. So 10 to 6 on the 30th, and Saturdays is always just a packed house.
Oh yeah, it's always fun to see the people that come on Friday to kind of look around, and then you'll notice, like I have in the past noticed, well, there's some of the first people that come in again Saturday morning. It's like they don't wait till like late in the day. They want to be the first thing Saturday morning and just get started again and go hit places they didn't make it to the first day, or go back to the places they really liked and hit them first. So it's fun to see that excitement with the groups coming in. And then you also have volunteers that help you quite a bit from the area. So that's
Yeah,
well again.
volunteers are the volunteers are amazing. They make it all possible. And like Dallin set that up like well, and we just continued on because like you have a good event
Yeah.
when people are like, hey, I want to come help out. I want to be a part of it.
Well, it's like we were talking to Dave and his wife that do the ticketing part of it. You were asking me about them, and I mean they've got that little area down to a science on everything, and so it's fun to see that they're back again. And so, but yeah, it's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to being out there. So, yeah, 27th, I can't wait.
Well, we got perfect weather here in Utah, ready for you. Not too
Good, good.
humid.
That's true. Well, it's going to be hot and humid here soon, so I'll welcome the change. Yeah. But
Good.
okay, so if people want to get in touch with you, we're going to put your information on the screen here.
Okay.
That I don't know if you can see it yet, but it's going to have your name, your email, Instagram ID. And so if you want to reach out to Chris about any aspect of Fitcon, you have vendor spaces left. I know you said you had changed the floor plan a little bit to accommodate more because that's going so well. What if a vendor wanted to reach out last minute?
We try our best to sneak everybody in. It
You're
can
like, thanks, Rick. Thanks a lot.
sometimes we can. Actually, last year a guy literally said the day before. It was the day where it's like, hey, I want to come. I'm ready. I'm like, okay, we'll see. And then like literally 2 hours later, something happened with another vendor, and they're like, emergency, we can't make it. And so we snuck that guy. They basically flip flop spots. So,
Yeah.
we try our best. Yeah, as I said, like we built our floor plan. We're like, okay, that's great. And then we had too many vendors. Like, okay, the vendor list just keeps growing. So it's like, okay, let's add 5 more. Okay, another 5. Okay, another 5. Okay, another 5. And it's like, all right, we might be maxed out now.
Well, that means you're doing something right when the vendors are wanting to come back and the new ones are hearing about it. And, you're probably getting some people coming back that may have been there in the past and then, skipped a few years that are now excited about that. So that's good. Yeah.
Yep, we have some people that have been there for, 9 years in a row.
Yeah. Now you get those loyal vendors. I mean, then they become sponsors. I mean, that speaks volumes because it's hard to, so many places and events, they do well for a period of time and then they, kind of fade away. Fitcon, and what again goes back to the whole having a local person having it or owning it, running it, and having that passion. Because if the passion's not there, it's not going to work. But you take care of that, so that's good. Yeah,
we're trying our best.
All right, well, good deal. Well, Chris, thank you for being with us today, man. I appreciate it. So I look forward to seeing you on the 27th and helping be a part of this great event. And so that's going to be a blast.
Thanks, Rick. We'll get your spot all warmed up for you.
All right, that sounds great. All right, and that concludes this episode of Luxe Life Discovered, and we'll see you again soon.